Hello everyone, welcome to This Day. It is Saturday, July 13th, and if it's Saturday, the first place to look for me is right here at the desk. That's how we start the show on Saturdays. On our show today, we got a great one for you. It's going to be the folks from Motion Drip are going to be here, Cameron Shim and Kenny Nguyen. They're going to talk to us about how you can use IVs to revive, revitalize, and refuel your life, and maybe give you lots more energy than you thought you needed. So it should be a fun interview with them. They have a great system going on over there. And then folks from Harvard Eye Associates, Dr. John Hovannisian is going to talk to us about the strange new world of changing your eye color and some of the dangers that can be associated with that. So we'll stay tuned for that one as well. Hey, we want to keep you informed, and we got a great one for you today. It's the resident porthole. If you're not using it, you should be. You can do all these things you can see here: process credit card payments, submit service requests, check account balances, review billing statements, pay assessments, print account statements, update emergency contacts, review resident vehicle information. All of this and more can be done right there on the resident porthole. Go to porthole.lagunawoodsvillage.com and go ahead and get an account going if you don't already have one, and that is where you log in and make all of those things happen. There's also tutorial videos available so you can tell you how to navigate the site and make it the best for you. Let's take a look at our weekend forecast, and it's going to be a great one. It's kind of like the return of May gray and June gloom around here. We got 80 degrees today and 79 for tomorrow. Nice and cool. We'll have the clouds in the morning. It'll burn off to afternoon sunshine, and then the kind of return of the clouds and the cool temperatures overnight. So enjoy the weekend. Let's take a look at our sunrise and our sunset while we're at it. And thank you very much, Alan Clark, for flying that flag over at your house. And we got a great picture of it here. Sunrise this morning was 5:50. Sunset tonight is going to be 8:02. And if you want to have a picture like Alan did up on our screen for our sunrise and sunset segment, you can do that by just emailing us, LagunaWoodsVillageTV@gmail.com. Make sure you include your name, where you took the picture, and we will put it in our sunrise sunset segment. Okay, we're going to take a quick break right now, and then when we come back, folks from Motion Drip are going to be right here on the set. Stay with us.
At Motion Drip, we believe in proactive wellness. Our IV therapy is designed to give you the well-being you deserve. With increased vitamin absorption directly into your bloodstream, it will replenish your body with hydration and nutrients to support your body's functions, increase energy levels, slow signs of aging, improve muscle recovery, and boost stamina. We are located right outside of Gate 8 on Moulton Parkway. Give us a call or visit our website to schedule your appointment today, as we will be your proactive partner in wellness.
Our next guests have a motto in the office. It's unwind, replenish, thrive. We're going to talk more about that with the folks from Motion Drip. I want to welcome Kenny Nguyen and Cameron Shim. Thanks for joining us, guys.
Thank you.
So, Kenny, let's start with you. What is Motion Drip? I've seen these places before where it's kind of this energy infusion, IV kind of places, and they're popping up on a lot of around, right?
Yes, we describe our business as a wellness oasis.
Okay.
Right, and our primary core model is to hydrate. And to administer IVs that will allow you to thrive in your daily lifestyle. Okay. So, I think what we look at is how to optimize your health. So we have IVs that we curate to either boost immunity, boost energy, or inject antioxidants into your body so that you feel stronger and that you recover faster if you're an active person. And if you are not good at taking vitamins, which is normally done orally, which only 30% of those vitamins are absorbed into your system, getting an IV every 2 or 4 weeks is the ideal modality that you should try to do, especially as you age.
Okay.
Our body is our system and our body is not producing the vitamins that we need anymore. So this is a fast counterbalance to that.
Okay. Now I am old enough to remember back in the day where it's like you don't drink water. You're like when two-a-day practices in football.
Correct.
Don't drink water, that's weakness.
Correct.
We certainly have an understanding of hydration and how important it is. Everybody's walking around with the giant, thermostats,
Correct.
their gallon jugs of the gym and those kinds of things.
Right.
So we're aware of it, but it's a different level when you walk into the shop over at Laguna Hills that you guys have, right? We're not just talking about a hydration, we're talking about a whole health kind of a oasis, like you say, a consciousness of it, right?
Correct, yeah, we really want to make our space not look like your typical white sterile clinic. We wanted it to be a spa because needles are scary. Like, being honest, needles are scary, but being in that environment, it's like you can just relax. Yeah. And the services that we provide, it's not just the IVs or some of the injections. We go more than that. We will give you guys coffee or tea or water or any kind of like some of the little what do you call them? Ollie Pops that we have too. Yeah. We also have Normatec boots, which massage your legs. So you're getting an IV, you're also getting a massage at the same time. Yeah. And then even our staff, we go above and beyond providing a client experience. Yeah. Our staff will sit down, they'll chat with you, they'll find about your day, find about your wellness goals, your life goals, etc. Or just talk to talk.
Okay. Health-wise, how does this kind of go on just, hey, I'm staying hydrated, I'm taking my multivitamin and that kind of thing. How does it go beyond that? Because it just seems like, I think for some people think, I'm going to get an IV and sit there and, how dehydrated am I?
Yeah. So a lot of clients will say they sleep better.
Okay.
Right? And if they're an active client that work out or play pickleball or tennis or golf, they say, I recovered faster. So that's, to us, huge benefits for them because they still want to be active, right? For the clients that are having trouble to be active, drinking water is actually more challenging than you think. It's hard for you to drink half a gallon of water a day.
Right.
So those clients are saying that they feel much more hydrated. They feel like they get better sleep. Sleep is so important to every human. The more studies that we're understanding how sleep determines your lifestyle, how it's basically, if you're a Tesla car, it's charging your battery.
Okay.
So quality sleep is very important. You can sleep for 12 hours and wake up, totally groggy because it's not quality. You can sleep for 6 hours and wake up fully charged. So these IVs will help you optimize your body to do these things while while it needs to recharge.
Now, Cameron, if I'm a client, I walk in there, am I going to get an assessment in terms of where I'm at, in terms of what I may or may not need? Are you going to have a questionnaire, or is there any testing that goes into what the process is?
There's a questionnaire that we do send, and it's a very easy one too. We send it to either your phone or your email address, and you can fill it out that way, or you can fill it out in person. And then one of our nurses will actually go over some more of the health goals that you are looking for. And then if you want to get into more detail, then you're more than welcome to bring in some of your blood work that you have. And then our nurses are able to look through that and go, okay, this is how we can cater the IV to meet your needs based on your blood work.
And speaking of catering to the needs of the community that we're talking to right now out in our audience is elderly. I'm about 5 minutes behind them, but they're a little older, right? They're 55 plus, and so what are some of the specialty things that can be catered to the needs of an elderly client?
Hydration for sure. Some of the research that we've been looking at shows that the elderly population are dehydrated. So hydration is the number one thing. Vitamins, as Kenny said earlier too, taking an oral supplement, your body digests 20 to 30% of it based on the tract it goes through.
And immunity, because as you know, people are getting sick. And when you're active or you want to do social gatherings, whether that's dances, any type of social gathering, your immunity needs to be boosted, right? And if you don't get out, like say there's some of your residents that don't get out often, they're not allowing their immunity to kind of become stronger or build, stronger. So these IVs, we can curate or tailor an IVs to build your immunity so that most of our clients today, a lot of times they're getting an IV before they travel. Internationally for vacation, and they come back and they would tell us everybody around me got sick on the vacation except for me. And then when they come back, they'll do another IV because they're jet lagged. And so that IV allows, when you're jet lagged, your immunity drops.
You're usually dehydrated as well.
Dehydrated
and
at the same
immunity,
time.
You've been exposed to a lot of people.
That's right, on a plane. And so we'll do what we call self-defense IV, which is a immunity booster IV, and allows their immunity to go back up to above par, and then they feel great again. So overall, I think people just feel really good. They feel more energized. They feel like I haven't gotten sick in over a year. And so these are great feedback for us because we know that they are doing the right things, biohacking their current lifestyle.
Yeah, and that's, I guess, it's one of those things where I feel like it's one of those things I never knew. I kind of think like, hey, I just thought I'm getting older, I'm just more fatigued, I'm more whatever. But do you get patients, clients that come in and say after that, oh, I didn't realize I could still feel this good?
Yes, we have.
All the time.
All the time. We have a couple patients who are now noticing too, because we also are affiliated with Motion Fitness Group.
Yeah.
They will go and work out, and some of our elderly clients are actually now saying too, like, my workouts actually feel great now.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and I think that a couple of testaments. When you go to the ER, what is the first thing they do?
They put you on an IV.
IV. Okay. So that's one, and then two is, we own the #1 group fitness gym also next door. And so we have 500 to 700 people come through those doors a day, take class. And so we know that the clients that are active and over 55, 60, we have a few, their recovery is night and day. They said prior to doing IVs, I would do a hard workout, and for a week I couldn't walk. Now that they're doing these IVs, and again, we tailor these IVs for what we call fitness rebound, they're able to work out the next day, and put a little bit more of a stress on their body, and they don't feel the actual stress, they feel young again.
Okay. Now, tell me a little bit about peptide therapy. What is it? Why would someone need that? Is that something that you guys do specifically there?
We do. So peptide is a chain of amino acids that's, your body actually produces peptides every day. It's in your system. But as we get older, there's two things that happens. After 30, you're losing 1% of your muscle mass every day of your life. Okay, and we know that strength training, what we're discovering today, I'm sure a lot of your residents and audience knows, is that strength training is a way of extending your life, because about 32,000 people die a year based on falls, elderly people based on falls. Okay, and so strength training, bone density is extremely beneficial for extending your life or anti-aging. Okay, so the other thing is back to peptides. Peptide is a chain of amino acids that your body produces. But what happens as you get older, there's a few factors that will diminish or deplete those cells. One is stress. Two is what you put in your body, how we eat, right? We're learning more about what we're putting in our bodies, but unfortunately the last 20, 30, 40 years, we've been putting a lot of processed food in our bodies.
Right.
The other thing is exercise, right? We're now trying to figure out, like, well, we need to exercise, right? And then last is sleep. How are you sleeping? Your body actually does more work while you sleep than when you're awake. Your body is recovering.
It's the recovery time, right?
Correct. So with peptides, there are a lot of very safe and natural holistic peptides that a person can put into their body. It could be for muscle growth, weight loss, gut health, sleep, like we mentioned, right? And brain function. So now that there's these peptides that are out, we work with the FDA-approved lab here in Orange County. They produce peptides that we can administer and put a protocol or administer to our clients and patients, and they can do a protocol that will help improve or enhance all their deficiencies in their body. So if they need to lose weight, we have a peptide that will help guide them, and it's more natural to lose weight. If they need to build muscle because they're losing muscle mass, then we have, as long as they work out, we can create, we can give them a peptide that can help them produce muscle. If they have an injury, they strained their leg, they fell, and it's a soft tissue injury, there's a peptide that we can inject locally into that injured area and help them heal. Again, we are only wanting to do holistic type of modalities, teaching the body what it needs to do for itself. So you need to heal yourself versus getting on some type of drug or pharmaceutical medicine to try to, Band-Aid fix your issue. So this is kind of like the core of our business, is doing everything more on a natural level.
All right, we're going to wrap things up real quick, but I want to make sure people know. You guys are located over off Moulton in the same center as the DMV, and that's where Motion Drip
Across
is
the street
at.
from the DMV.
Across the street from the DMV.
Yeah, off of
excuse
Ridge
me.
Route, yes.
Okay, off of Ridge Route. Okay, so you're
Yeah.
over there. When people walk in, I'm guessing, this is an elective kind of thing, so it's not covered by insurance, but are there deals in terms of packages you can buy and those kind of discounts?
We want to build a relationship with the Laguna Woods residents, so we are offering a 25% discount off of any package, any service that they would like. We also have subscriptions. So if they want to do 1 IV per month, we have a subscription for that. If they want to do 2 IVs a month, we have a subscription for that, and it's extremely discounted because it's a membership versus a drop-in.
All right, folks, come on in, get that assessment, see what might work for you over at Motion Drip. Kenny and Cameron, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You're watching This Day. We'll be right back.
Go beyond better hearing with artificial intelligence. At Advanced Ear Care, we've taken regular hearing care to a new level with artificial intelligence performance. This provides smarter, clearer balance of sound. Artificial intelligence identifies background noises and reduces them so you can hear the soft-spoken speech clearly. Don't be afraid of this technology. It works automatically. Put them on and hear better all day in all situations. Hear the conversations clearly with family, friends, and caregivers. And remember, tell them Stuart sent you.
Welcome to Harvard Eye Associates. We're focused on your eye care at all 3 of our Orange County locations.
Our new location in Laguna Hills, Orange, and San Clemente.
Each facility features the latest in advanced technology and diagnostic equipment.
And a trusted collection of doctors that care about your vision and your quality of life.
We deliver what matters to you.
And your family.
Harvard Eye Associates, the future of vision today.
From Harvard Eye Associates, I want to welcome back to our program Dr. John Hovannisian. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good to see you, Michael.
So we're going to talk about something kind of interesting today, which I had never heard of until you told me, hey, let's talk about this, and we started going over the topic. Folks who can change their eye color cosmetically just for the look of it. Now, I remember the old contact days when people started wearing contacts, but that kind of went out. But there are a couple things that people are doing to actually change it kind of on a permanent way, right?
Yes, and the good news is there are surgical procedures designed to change your eye color. The bad news is you don't want to have them.
Right.
So,
and the first one I want to talk to you about is iris implants. Now, this is the one that was developed for people who have some sort of birth defect or some sort of damage in their eye to replace the eye color portions that have disappeared, right?
yeah, so first a little anatomy lesson. The iris is what gives our eye its color, what makes your eyes brown, what makes my eyes blue. It's a very delicate tissue that's inside the eye. And think of it like a watch crystal. You've got the cornea, which is the clear part of the eye that sits in front of it, and then behind it is the face of the watch that has the color, and that's the iris inside your eye.
Right.
And so in certain people who've had either injuries or surgery or birth defects, as you point out, that lead to defects in the iris, it can look very funny. And it's not only cosmetically an issue, though. For them, it also can be a visual issue because the iris has an important job to do. It opens when we're in dim light, so we see more light. It closes in bright light, so we have less light so that the eye can see. But also, when light passes through parts of the iris that the eye doesn't focus well, through the edges of the iris, it causes visual problems. And so when there's a defect, we want to close that if we can. And so there have been developed and FDA approved artificial iris implants that can be put in the eye, partially behind the existing iris, and that protects it from the delicate cornea, the front window. And that's the important thing, because when these are used in cosmetic purposes, if you want to change the color of your whole iris, you have to put an implant in front of the eye in a place that is very dangerous to the cornea.
Yeah, and that's not really meant to have anything there, right? Exactly. That's not the eye structure that's there. So when people are doing it cosmetically, and then I guess some doctors will do this, maybe you have to fly to Mexico, I don't know what you have to do this, but maybe some eye doctors who aren't maybe as scrupulous are saying, sure, we'll do this cosmetic surgery for you. it can cause real challenges for the eye and cause some bad defects going on, right?
Yeah, the happiest day after the surgery is the day after surgery, because people look in the eye and they see what looks like, wow, my eye has this new color. And then every single day after that, things get worse and worse and worse, because eventually the cornea completely fails and the eye becomes white and cloudy looking, the opposite of what you want. Vision becomes non-existent from the eye. And the problem at that point is that the person needs a corneal. First of all, they need that implant removed, and they need a corneal transplant.
Right, and I mean you could lead to blindness.
It's blinding.
We can and you can have and light sensitivity. There's all sorts of challenges that come on with doing this. So, why are people doing it? Do they not understand the risk, or they're not being told as they go into these cosmetic situations?
Don't it make my brown eyes blue? That's why they do it. I mean, you know, we've sung about and celebrated blue-eyed people and having a different color from what you have, whether you wanted a lighter brown or what color it is that you want. You can theoretically have it now, and it's one of the basic things about us that many people want to change. We'll talk about iris or keratopigmentation, which is the other way to change, the other procedure, which is also dangerous. But both of these have risks that are just way too high for cosmetic
and one of them could be like maybe increasing the risk of cataracts when you're doing this as well?
Yeah, well, so the one we just talked about would definitely increase the risk of cataract. Cataracts would almost always form. And
So the other one, eye tattooing, or technically it's keratopigmentation?
Yeah, keratopigmentation. Kerato means cornea and pigmentation. Or tattooing. Now, again, corneal tattooing is a procedure that I've done for almost 30 years, but not for cosmetic purposes.
Okay.
Sometimes, again, we'll have a defect in the cornea, or rather a defect in the iris where we want to block light from coming through. And actually, it's a fairly simple and fairly effective way to block light in that area.
Okay.
Similarly, if we have white scars in the cornea, sometimes we will tattoo those to match the iris behind them. And it can take what's an unsightly white scar and make it look, you know, much less noticeable. And so there are places where it's reasonable to do keratopigmentation, but to do it for changing the color of the iris, boy, there are some problems with this procedure, and it's ones that I would certainly not recommend to somebody I care about.
Right, and what are some of the damages that can happen? I mean, can we actually again lead to more cloudiness, or does the pigment can it spread?
Yes, the pigment can spread or dissipate and lose its effect. That's usually the least of the problems. Then we lose whatever benefit you thought you'd get from the procedure. But worse yet, it can cause melting in the cornea. We've certainly seen that, where there's a loss of tissue, and that's caused by the body not reacting well to the pigment.
And so rejecting it as a foreign object.
Sort of rejecting it as a foreign object, and then kind of sending white blood cells that attack the pigment, but also the surrounding cornea. There's a lot of collateral damage that will cause the eye to have permanent scarring. And can you imagine, you're doing this for a large area, basically the entire cornea outside of the pupil, and that's a problem. Also, of course, you wouldn't be able, the tattoo pigment would block light from coming through, and you can't regulate the size of the pupil as God intended us to operate, so we lose that ability. And there are many other problems. Infection can occur, and leakage of the pigment inside the eye can occur, although that's pretty rare. And so, the risks of that procedure really outweigh any benefits.
Right, and just the idea of going in there with the ink and then causing maybe an infection. I mean, I know when people get tattoos, they have to keep everything so clean and taped over and that kind of thing. And your eye you're always, touching or something going on with the eye. Things are getting in your eye all the time, and the dangers.
Yeah.
So what are some of the worst case scenarios you've heard of or seen in terms of what can happen? I mean, blindness seems to be.
Blindness.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, one problem in the eye can lead to another. And so a corneal transplant is a pretty unpleasant thing to have to go through, especially when it wasn't really necessary. I mean, we've got better techniques for doing that these days. But when corneal transplants are necessary, usually it means serious damage, and that can also lead to glaucoma, which is irreversible in many cases. It can lead to, you mentioned cataract, it can lead to retinal problems, and a cascading effect of bad things in the eye when some of these procedures are done. And so, when you ask, okay, what is okay to do? I don't like the color of my eyes. I'm going to this event. I'd love to show up with a different look.
Sure.
Contact lenses.
Contact lenses. They're back to the old one we started with.
That's right. And although contacts have their own risks and need to be used with proper precautions, like taking them out every night and using good hygiene when handling them, and not wearing them when they're causing irritation or problems in the eye. Contacts are very well proven technology that's fairly safe, and when properly prescribed, they work great.
Yeah, and that's it's tried and true. Like you said, people wear contacts. All hundreds of thousands, millions of people wear them. We understand them. Can people just? Is it kind of like a catalog you go through? I want this color here.
Yes, in fact, Michael, you could show up for the morning show on Tuesday, and your left eye could be blue, and your right eye could be green, and then on the next day, you could have a plaid, color in your left eye. I mean, there really are some interesting and clever designs they have in these contact lenses. And you want to use one that is FDA approved. You want to use one that's prescribed by a doctor who, who's going to use a safe product, but have fun with them. They're okay to use.
There we go. So do something a little less dangerous. At least give it a test drive it before.
That's right. That's right.
Well, Dr. John Hovhannissian from Harvard Eye Associates, thank you so much for coming in and giving us this kind of cautionary tale about something we don't want to be doing with our eyes. Yeah. Don't mess with your eyes unless you have to. That's the bottom line.
That's right. And when you hear a promise from a doctor, whether it's south of the border or north of the border, check it out. Get a second opinion with somebody who's a board-certified doctor in an established practice. We've been around for 50 years. You got the graphic up on the screen. We're honored to be to reach our 50-year milestone. So we're not a bad place to pick, but there are lots of great eye doctors in the community who can help give evaluations for these types of questions.
As always, consult your doctor before making that kind of decision.
That's it.
Thank you, Dr.
Good to see you, Michael.
Good to see you. You're watching This Day. We'll be right back.
At Harvard Eye Associates, we are committed to your vision care and quality of life.
It's a commitment we don't take lightly.
Our trusted team of doctors provides specialized eye care using state-of-the-art technology.
We deliver what matters to you.
And your family.
Harvard Eye Associates, the future of vision today.
Hey, let's take a look at our Saturday movie, and it's a great one. It's a classic with Gregory Peck. It is Behold a Pale Horse, brought to us by Pacific Financial Planners. And it's going to be on 2 p.m. today with the subtitles and 6 p.m. without the subtitles. Famous Spanish bandit Artigues returns to his native Spanish village after 20 years in French exile, but Spanish cop Vanoles sets a trap for him. Oh no. Lots of drama, lots of fun. It's a great classic one, 2 p.m. and 6 p.m. today as our Saturday movie. Let's take a quick check of the weather before we head out. And honestly, I love our weather when it's June-y, gloomy, even though it's July. We have the morning clouds burning off to afternoon sunshine and then cool temperatures overnight. And that's what we've got for this weekend. This is my kind of summer. 80s and high 70s for the rest of the weekend and into Monday and Tuesday as well. So we'll look forward to that. Monday on the program, 40th District Representative Young Kim will be here giving us a congressional update, as well as a music lovers club with Carla Vigos and Sandy O'Connor. So stay tuned for that on Monday. We'll have Sunday off. We'll be back right here on Monday for you. All right, that's going to do it for this edition of This Day. For all of us here at Village Television, we hope you make this day a great one.